Thank you for hitting the play button on this one. And if you're hitting the play button, either you have a Jeep or you're thinking about buying a Jeep or you just like Jeeps. I bought this Jeep a year ago, and when I started sanding some stuff, there were problems. Now, I spent the winter, couldn't really work on it. I had another project the car had to redo, just to actually practice on some body work and things like that, just to get back into it before I start this project. The reason I'm making these videos is going to be asking people's opinions if they watch the video on what experience they have, what steps I should do, what things I have found out that work. Now the project won't start for about 3 to 4 weeks. Apologize about the audio because I am by myself and it is a mic and it is very windy. When we get in here, it'll be a little bit better. We're gonna do some YouTube magic. I'm gonna snap my fingers like a dork. Before I show you the inside of the Jeep, and then I'll show you the frame and the underneath of the Jeep, I'm just gonna give you a little backstory. I bought it, like I said, a year ago. Saw it on Craigslist. I should have known. I went and saw it one night, and I'm in New England, so there's a lot of rust out here. It's a 6-cylinder, 5-speed, has a hard top, not on it right now. And I noticed, I took a screwdriver and went around the frame. I noticed, frame was decent, I thought. It looks like they did out here, because there is rusted, the pans, transmission pans tend to rust, and I saw that a little bit, like it was welded. But for the price, it was pretty good. Compression was good on the motor. I had it run for 30 minutes. It was good. It ran. I drove it. A little noisy because of the bigger tires, but what I was seeing for like a year, it was actually a good deal for a good looking piece. Hindsight is 2020. If you are looking at Jeep and you're in the New England area, I actually never thought I'd say this, but bring it to a mechanic. Have them go over it. Put on a lift. That's you got some guys out there that are, Jeep connoisseurs, but in general, for the average layman person, it's to the point out here in New England and some places, even down south, they're getting pretty creative, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, some of the stuff in the side I'll show you, and I'm going to put this on, I'll hand hold this in, try and make it as steady as possible. But some things inside I missed underneath the roll bar, but I'll show you all that stuff. So, again, if you buyer beware. I actually, on this one, when I get to in deep, and I'll show you some stuff, it took more time to deceive me or whoever was going to buy the Jeep, that they could have actually done things differently and fixed it. But I'll go over the whole thing with you, and then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do a video I didn't say it, but I'm gonna do a video every week. This week I'll go over it. Next week I'm gonna go underneath the carriage and show you some more. See if anyone watches it, any responses to it, and any advice on it. I don't expect too much because, like I said, I'm new to YouTube and I really don't do these videos. But I'm hoping that I get some good feedback on this and then go from there. I am torn still to what to do with it. But out here, what they take Jeeps out of, they basically will buy your Jeep and they'll part it out. I did most of the work for someone if they did want it parted out. But I find that wrong. I had a Jeep before this, YJ, and I lived in California, never had rust props out there, and I love that thing to death, and I'm going to do everything possible to keep this and redo this Jeep. Again, do some YouTube magic and start walking around the vehicle, and I'll show you what we're dealing with here, okay? Okay, here is the bed. Bed is solid. I have one little hole back here. Instead of patching it, I might just drill out. Underneath is pretty solid, and then just put a plug. I know it's cheating, but I might just do that. Here in the front is my first dilemma. I cut out all the bad metal that I had. here's the lip. I gotta get underneath there, and it's bad right there, but just that square. The rest is pretty good. So I don't know if I should cut the whole thing out, because I got a replacement floor pan and weld it in there, or cut out most of it and cut the floor pan. And my neighbor said overlap it and drill holes and then spot weld it, and then even before I spot weld it, maybe seam it and then spot weld it, because it's going to be stronger and I'm not that good at it. So if I put it down with some like panel seal and then with the spot hole welds, just spot weld all around, that'll be pretty good. And that frame's good over here. Oh, look what I found there. Let's see, there's bolts in the what we used to call Nerf bars. When I took the bolts out, he welded them on the top to the frame. What an asshole. Okay, here is the back corner. Dilemma 2. I bought a back floor pan. I actually been cutting some metal out, and but I'll show you on the other side. Underneath the roll bar is where most of the rust was, and underneath the caulking, the sealer. So this is all solid here, but all this corner, if you're in New England, it is gonna go. The pillar is actually pretty good too, so I'm happy about that. I'm gonna show you on the outside. Okay, here's the outside. Okay, I made a piece to fit this, and I was thinking about cutting the bottom out, and that floor pan actually goes underneath here, the replacement. Put that all the way and cut down underneath the pillar, grind it down, clean it all the way, because the pillar is actually pretty good. Cut this out. Again, cut out as much as that. I'm probably going to save this pillar, but then probably going to rust out. So that's another question. Would you cut all this out and redo everything? Or since I'm new at it, I'm thinking about cutting the line here, you know, get all the rust, sandblast it, strip it down, and then let's say weld over it, bead weld over it, just so, you know, a little bit easier and a little bit, you know, sounder. Here isn't, the tub is pretty solid in here. Okay, I'm going to show you the first thing on the frame on this side. Okay, see this white? That was Bondo. This was all bondoed in. See how all that white? All of it was bondoed in. So when I took a screwdriver and it came over here, it was pretty solid. He had all this, you know, bondoed on both sides, and he dented it in. So you could see it kind of dented inward here, and then he filled it up, and then he kind of tapered it all off here. That, you know, but that's all Bondo right there. Well, that's not even everything. Covered this. This part of the frame is okay. Then you get back here again. See how it's all dented in? He cut it out, and then he Bondoed it in, and then, you know, that's that. Let's go to the other side. Okay, now here is the driver's back side. The back pan is solid. I found a little hole in that corner right there, but in general that's solid until you get to, again, underneath the roll bar. And it just, all this is actually pretty solid right here. Now, I didn't buy a floor pan for this side, but again, if you have any suggestions, I actually cut out some pieces and I fit them pretty well, and I was actually really proud of myself. I have that little hole, but I was actually going to try to see if I can weld over it. I know that's not the way to do it, but, you know, I was going to try. But these are pretty solid, so the cap should be good on that. I'm going to go, this is going to be a harder shot, but you can see back here, I cut all this out right here. This is still okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible. I can strip it down and do that. Now, when you get to this side, that's the only hole I have. I mean, I'm going to have some issue right here, right there, and there. I cut all the bad stuff out. You can see the floorboard's gone in here. But again, the pillar is sound, so I was just going to come out. And this is horrible. I'm sorry. And a better video right there. So the pillar is sound. and I cut a piece out, and it fits really nice right down there, and that's pretty solid right here. This stuff is pretty solid. Now the front floorboard here is pretty solid. I mean, there's some surface rust and right there. But to be honest with you, right there, sorry about that, right there. What I was gonna do with that is sand the hell out of it and then just take a washer, put the washer in there and weld it, and that way I have a nice hole there. And this is what I'm talking about. This is how bad they went to it. They cut out that section and they bent it, and then they filled it with Bondo. There again, you can see all that was filled with Bondo, and then that plate was also covered. You could see how up there he tapered it off. It was up a little bit, all the way up where next to that pillar. So I should have noticed that it was so undercoated, because this thing was so right there. You could see again, I bent it inward, and from here on, it's good. But this is my question. I don't think the frame's savable, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not horrible, but that weld right there, that's so high up there, I don't know. I mean, that's just gonna look like a pain in the butt. So my idea was to basically do a frame swap, and since I'm doing a frame swap, my budget's totally blown. So another reason I waited a while, and what I'm going to do is, this has a 35 axle, so I figured throw 44 while I'm doing it, maybe rebuild the motor, and this is not going to get the metal cloak lift I wanted, it's not going to get the slip yoke, the Tommy drive shaft, all the stuff that I wanted to do that I thought I had a good base to start from. I think what I'm going to have to do is just build a good guts Jeep. Basically make it, it's real windy, sorry about that. Just basically make it, a good solid Jeep. I'm going to strip it all down and repaint it, because since there's rust there and I'm going to be doing all this work, why not strip it down? I mean, I took the plates off here and I looked for rust here. I looked for rust for the windshield, you know, all that's good. The hood, like I said, needs to be done. I'm going to take the flares off because I hate them, and I figure strip it down, repaint it. I'm going to do the painting myself. I mean, you know, any suggestions, I'd appreciate it, you know, but right there, I'm going to focusing on that, because that's what you got to watch out for. I mean, seriously, I mean, all this solid, look at that, nice and Bondo-y. I mean, who does that? What kind of dick? Oh, I say, and I did go and even try to report it, but it is a buyer beware, you know, as is. But my point was, you start bondoing frames in sections that someone else bought this and they got in an accident and they die. That's not as is. That's malicious. But I went to the police department, and you know, I'm a cop guy. I'm all for cops, but it doesn't seem like they really want to help you anymore. It's more like, well, whatever, you know, that's, you know, buyer beware. But if it was their kid that bought the car, their Jeep, and they got in an accident, the frame crumpled, or they're driving, the frame snapped, and they die, is that still buyer beware? Or is that, you know, tough luck? Also, right here, on both sides I have a little bend, and I swear to God, I think this thing's been straightened. But that's, you know, I think it's just redo everything, and don't get all the extravagant stuff, but just redo it all. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much. Until next week.